Article 252 of the Indian Constitution deals with the power of Parliament to legislate for two or more states by their consent, even in cases where the Parliament does not have the power to make laws for the states on certain matters. Explanation: legislation by Parliament with the consent of states. Scope: this provision applies when two or more states feel that it is necessary for Parliament to make laws on matters that are normally within the state list. These are matters over which Parliament does not have jurisdiction, except under special circumstances mentioned in Articles 249, National Interest Legislation, and 250, Emergency Provisions. Process: if the legislatures of two or more states pass resolutions indicating that they want Parliament to make a law on a particular matter, then Parliament gains the authority to do so. The law created by Parliament will then be applicable only to those states that passed the resolutions. Adoption by other states: if any other state later decides to adopt that law, it can do so by passing a resolution in its legislature. Once adopted, the law will also apply to that state. Amendment or repeal of the law: any law made by Parliament under this article can be amended or repealed only by Parliament. The state legislatures themselves cannot amend or repeal such a law once it has been adopted or passed by Parliament. This ensures that any changes to the law must be made uniformly at the central level. In essence, Article 252 allows Parliament to make laws on matters of state concern when multiple states express the desire for a common legislative framework on that issue. The Constitution of India. Part 11. Relations between the Union and the States. Chapter 1. Legislative Relations. Distribution of legislative powers. Article 252. Power of Parliament to legislate for two or more states by consent and adoption of such legislation by any other state. 1. If it appears to the legislatures of two or more states to be desirable that any of the matters with respect to which Parliament has no power to make laws for the states except as provided in Articles 249 and 250 should be regulated in such states by Parliament by law, and if resolutions to that effect are passed by all the houses of the legislatures of those states, it shall be lawful for Parliament to pass an act for regulating that matter accordingly, and any act so passed shall apply to such states and to any other state by which it is adopted afterwards by resolution passed in that behalf by the House or, where there are two houses, by each of the houses of the legislature of that state. 2. Any act so passed by Parliament may be amended or repealed by an act of Parliament passed or adopted in like manner but shall not, as respects any state to which it applies, be amended or repealed by an act of the legislature of that state.